In this video, I'm going to review the October 2025 BTO. Now let's talk about Redhill Peaks BTO. Bounded by Redhill Close and Jalan Bukit Merah, Redhill Peaks BTO enjoys a prime location near the Redhill MRT station and amenities such as Bukit Merah Town Center and Redhill Market and Food Center. It has 3 blocks and it's quite tall because the tallest floor would be level 40 and level 49, and in total it will have 1021 units of 2-room flexi and 4-room flats. So there's no like 3-room or 5-room flats here. This project is categorized as prime flats and will have 12% subsidy recovery rate. Please note that this project is also located in the same town with the berlayar residences at Keppel, which means that if you apply for Bukit Merah town, you could either get the berlayar residences BTO or this Redhill Peaks BTO depending on your queue number and what's still available when you are being called to select your unit. And just FYI, that seems like a lot of people are more excited about the berlayar residences BTO, and then people are not so excited about Redhill Peaks. But when I look at the lineup for February 2026, actually, another location near this site will be offered, and in February 2026, that site will be one of the top star. So what I'm trying to say is, although Redhill Peaks doesn't get a lot of attention in this October 2025 BTO launch because simply there are a lot of better options, but this project is actually quite good because it is within walking distance to Redhill MRT station and it is located in a mature town where you still have some school options if you have young children. In terms of the on-site facilities, this project will only have a preschool, but again, it is located in a mature area so that you can just walk nearby if you need to go to hawker center or things like that. There will also be sky terraces located on the 39th floor of block 145A and 144B and on the 19th floor and also 39th floor of block 144A. This will provide residents with scenic views of the surrounding cityscape. In terms of waiting time, unfortunately, this project will take about 53 months to develop, which is one of the slowest. But I noticed that's the trend. It seems like if you want the keys faster, then you would need to apply for non-mature areas, except for Pingy Court at Bedok. Now let's talk about pricing. So for 2-room flexi, the price starts at $183,000 to $359,000, which is, I think, a reasonable entry price. And then for 4-room flat, the price, because it's heavily subsidized, will start at $541,000 and it will go up to $778,000. If we look at the nearby resale price for comparables, the resale price is already up to $1.2 million, and you can imagine that it will even be higher in 10 to 15 years from now. As it is, the gap between BTO price versus nearby resale is more than $400,000, which translates to around 54%. So it seems like although this project has a 12% subsidy recovery clawback, owners of the flats here still stands a chance to pocket a very healthy amount of profit in the future if they decide to sell their unit after MOP. But just note that because this project is classified as prime, you will never be able to rent out the whole flat even after MOP. So please take note of that. Now let's talk about the site plan. So this is the site plan for Redhill Peaks. So this site is quite a busy street, so I appreciate that HDB built the multi-story car park here so that the residents doesn't get exposed directly to the busy street, so that's good. At the moment, this plot is empty, but it is reserved for future high-rise residential development, another HDB. In terms of the color legend, this yellow color is 4-room flat, and then this peach pinkish color is 2-room flexi. For Redhill Peaks, there is no rental flats at all. In terms of lift ratio, if we look at block 144A and also 144B, there will be 6 lifts serving 8 stacks. But for block 145A, notice that there will also be 6 lifts, but there are more stacks. There will be 9 stacks, so this will be a bit crowded, especially during peak hours, so please take note of that. In terms of the view, so this right side is already another HDB, and then this is also like already developed. Again, because this is a mature town, then almost 360 degrees are already surrounded by high-rise development. Well, probably except for this part, you will overlook the Gan Enseng Primary School as well as a Chinese temple. But then again, note that there will be another HDB to be developed here very soon. So yeah, so unfortunately for this particular project, seems like it doesn't really have any option for unblocked view. Now let's talk about the location. So this is the map that HDB gave. So if we look in Google Maps, I think this is the comparable location. So it's this giant land plot. So initially I thought they would build a BTO here completely. That's why it can fit over 1,000 flats. But apparently, upon closer look, when comparing the marking here, it's not even going to be the full land plot here. It seems like the BTO of Redhill Close will only use some of this plot, but not the whole thing. So only on the bottom part. So it seems like they are saving the balanced land, which is on the top, probably for future BTO. So that's interesting. So the location of this land plot is a little bit on the quieter side of Bukit Merah, I would say, because this part and this part is just like a small road. Only this one, Jalan Bukit Merah, is busier, so it will be noisier. But other than that, this is more like a quieter side of Bukit Merah, facing another HDB complex on this side. Now you might be wondering where is the nearest MRT station. So it's just over here, Redhill. So I checked using Google Maps before, and it's around 650 meters to Redhill MRT station. So I think it's definitely still walkable. It's not that far in my opinion. In terms of amenities, you have the Redhill Market just over here, and there's also some hawker centers. And of course, near the Redhill MRT station itself, you have a lot of small shops, clinics, etc. There are actually quite a lot of eateries around here as well, around the Jalan Bukit Merah, and also got some clinics, got some McDonald's. So there are plenty of amenities definitely around the area. So if I zoomed in a little bit, you see Bukit Merah Town Center is over here, and then you have bunch of cafes, shops, TCM, etc. So definitely quite a lot of amenities. If you like to exercise, there's a gym over here. It is also equipped with swimming pool, is it? I'm not so sure whether it's part of the gym, honestly. But then we also have Active SG just around here. So it is within walking distance from this Redhill Close BTO. If you are religious, there's a temple over here, and then there's a mosque over here. So it's not that far. And then I believe there are some churches as well. But then I think, as far as I know, the churches is a bit far, which is around this area. So probably you would need to take a bus to go to that church. For parents, there are several options to send your kids to school. You have the Gan Enseng Primary School here. You have the Bukit Merah Secondary School there. So other than the two schools I've mentioned, there's another primary school over here, another school over here again. So there are some options. So you also have the Queenstown Secondary School and also Crescent Girls School. Now, if you don't want to walk all over to Redhill MRT station, if you see the Jalan Bukit Merah is actually a main road. So you can also take buses here. As you can see, there are quite a lot of bus stops over here. So I think it will be easy for you to commute. In terms of the view, realistically, because it is a mature town, we don't see much of empty land plots, right? So most likely you will just face another tower, or you will face another building. So for example, these are just another HDB complex. I think these are also high-rise buildings. The only facing that I think can have some sort of unblocked view, especially for high floors, probably would be the one facing the Gan Enseng Primary School. So over here, probably you'll have some unblocked views if you have like high floor units. For those of you who are driving, the expressway is just over here. But as you can see from the map, the land plot itself is not directly next to the expressway. So Hopefully, it would not be so noisy, especially at night. Overall, I think the location is actually quite good. As long as you don't expect any ocean view or something like that, like you might get at Keppel BTO. But I think overall, this is actually a solid option in my opinion, especially if you have a family and you prefer to have convenience for day-to-day activities. So overall, what do I think about this project? Honestly, I was surprised that HDB released this spot, given that back in July, we just had two Bukit Merah BTO, and then in October, Keppel is already scheduled to be as part of the lineup, which is technically Bukit Merah as well. So I am surprised that HDB released another Bukit Merah location again. At first, when I saw the lineup, this particular BTO did feel like a trap at the beginning, because if somebody bid for Bukit Merah, then they could either get Keppel or Redhill Close depending on their queue number, of course. But then upon closer look, to me, this is not exactly a trap, but it's just another option. Objectively, I think Redhill Close is actually more sustainable for families because of its proximity to schools as well as amenities, and it's also more convenient for day-to-day life in my opinion, even though yes, you would not see ocean every day, but this is more convenient in my opinion. So what do I like about the project? I do appreciate that you can still walk to MRT station, even though admittedly it's a bit of a mid-distance. 650 meters is not that close, but I think it's still doable. I also appreciate that it has mature amenities, even though on site it will only have a preschool, but then surrounding the area you have Redhill Market and Food Center, you have a lot of shops, you have Active SG, swimming pool and gym, and then overall the area feels mature. And then you also have several school options, so that's good for families. In terms of resale and rental possibilities, I have no doubt. I think it will be very competitive, especially because surrounding the land plot are actually like older HDBs, so definitely you have a higher edge if one day you want to resell the flat or you want to rent out rooms. I think it's very much doable. And I also appreciate the fact that it has a lot of two-room flexi supply, which I believe would be very helpful, especially for seniors as well as first-timer singles. So I think that's good. On the other hand, what don't I like about the project? Well, the entry price is on the higher side, of course, compared to like other project in this October BTO launch, right? We cannot compare it with Yishun or cannot compare it with Sengkang. So it's definitely not a budget option. And then, of course, I also don't like the fact that this project will get slapped with the 10-year MOP and very strict restrictions. That's not fun in any way. Another cons would probably be high competition, because I am anticipating many people would apply for Bukit Merah town predominantly because Keppel BTO is being offered, but then it also has a spillover to the application rate for this project as well, right? Because it's located in the same town. So expect the competition to be on a higher side. The application rate would definitely be higher versus if there's no Keppel at all. Because I think if in Bukit Merah town, there's only this Redhill Close BTO and then there's no Keppel at all, I think the application rate would probably be lower, maybe somewhere around 2 point something, so similar with Alexandra Vista and Alexandra Peaks that were launched back in July. But I think overall, objectively, personally, I think this is a solid option. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!